auntie, you can't be wearing that, or no, like this is everybody is doing this. It is not really bad, but for you and I, because of our work, because of our relationship, now you can't do that.
Today is a good day. Hey there, millennial. Hey there, Gen Z. Hey there, Alpha Generation. Welcome to your very practical Christian podcast where we focus on you in this chaotic world. We want you to get it right being Christian. Stay with us. Have a very good session. Have you met the Holy Spirit?
Hey guys, welcome back to the Very Christian Way podcast. It's been a while. It's been almost 2 weeks that we've been here, but it's all good. We are back now, and the last episode, apologies to the YouTube family because we were not able to watch that full video, but we had an episode 4, and because of some very depressing technical issue, we were not able to upload the video, but the audio is on Spotify, Podbean, Anchor, now podcasters. All you have to do is just type the Very Christian Way podcast on there, and then you will get the episode 4. We are so sorry it was not able to air on YouTube. So if you go and listen to it, you will get to realize that at the end of that episode, we spoke about something about my graduation dress. And the episode last week was talking about ladies and how we dress and all that. So do have a listen to it before you come. If you really want to understand the reason why this storytelling session is even coming up, you have to go back and listen to it. So sorry, YouTube family. You have to go and listen to the audio. You have to make do with the audio like that. Thank you. So just as I promised, I said we will share a little story about my graduation dress. Yeah, graduation dress. It was a whole lot. I call it graduation dress wahala. So how do I even begin? Let me start by telling the story from let me start from the beginning. So last year I had to go for graduation, my school graduation, my college graduation, and where I was staying and doing my service, those of us who are not Ghanaians, we will know that service or national service is like what the Nigerians call the NYSC or something, serving the nation for a whole year. I have my reservations about that one, but I will not. This is not the place to be saying that. So I was doing my service in Eastern region, as a say, and even when you get to that market, you have to take another car. So let's not go into that. But I was doing my service in somewhere in the Eastern region, and the graduation was supposed to be in the Greater Accra region. So my school is in the Greater Accra region, Accra College of Education. So what I did was that, you see, graduation is almost like, I call it a mini wedding, like a mini traditional wedding. You have to get all geared up for it. You have to get all excited for it, because why not? 4 solid years of wahala. At least if you made it alive, you give thanks to God, you thank whoever helped you, and then you thank yourself, because it could have gone down the hill. It could have been terrible. So you thank God, you thank whoever helped you, the necessary people you have to thank, and then you give yourself a baby girl hug. Come on, girl, you done well. Whether you came home with the pass, third class, no matter the class, don't worry, you have to give yourself a hug if the means are there. So graduation is more or less like somebody's mini wedding. I was thinking, oh, why can't we just wear something and go? You see, that kind of thing. Let's just wear anything and go. And I was told it's not done like that. Like, you really have to dress up. Is it dress up or dress down? I don't know, whichever is reading these days. But you have to dress down or dress up. So I was like, okay, I don't really want to do too much. But then there's this style that my sister showed me. I was like, oh, this is beautiful. This is beautiful. This is decent. This is all right. This is something that a child of God, a daughter of a king, of the king, can show up in, and there will not be any problem. So I showed it to the one who was supposed to sew it, and um, well, communication. I'll place it on communication or the lack of it. But in my mind, at where I was 7, I was thinking the dress issue was going very well, but um, but it turned out that it would not in the later days when I would need the dress. It would not turn out as well as I expected it. So there was nothing wrong with the dress per se. There was really nothing wrong with the style. What I wanted was what she got me. But the length of the skirts is was the issue. So this is what happened. 3 days to the graduation. The graduation was supposed to be on a Saturday. So during the week I was preparing. Then 3 days into before the graduation, or 3 days to the graduation, I was just walking home from service. I was teaching. So I was just walking home with clothes from the school. I was walking home, and then I heard that the Holy Spirit said I should come so that we have a talk. Like a someone, I've been someone to come. I was wondering, like, what is happening? What the first thing I said was, "What have I done?" Undia senpai, everything. What have you done? So I was like, okay, what is going on? What have I done? And for the very little time, very, very small time that I've been with God, I know that if you have to go and sit down for you to be spoken to, then it means that it's a serious stuff. It's really a serious stuff. So I was like, okay. I closed. I walked down to my place where I was staying. I closed the door. Then I sat down. And I didn't know where to start from, because every beckoning and what you actually have to do. But if it's actually a beckon, the spirit will lead you to what exactly you're supposed to do. Okay, so I entered the room. I closed the door. I put on worship. I was worshiping. I don't really know why I placed on that particular worship song. So I placed on Philip Ajali singing see the Lord laughing, hallelujah, see the Lord. Something like that. And it was a medley, I think. So somewhere in the worship there was this part of the song where he was singing, or the spirit was singing about the that the Lord is clothed in glory and the Lord is clothed in light. He's clothed in glory, he's clothed in light. Yes, I think it's that particular line. So is it when your message comes, you know your message has come. You cannot pretend as if it was not for you. So I was just worshiping, and then he's clothed in glory, he's clothed in light. Kept coming, it kept coming. So I was repeating the whole worship session, and every time it got there, it was that one was like I knew within me that that was the reason why I was summoned. And so I sat down and I was like, okay, I wasn't going to do but God, I'm not dressed anyhow. So I sat down there, I was sitting on the floor, and I was looking at the dress that I was wearing that I sent to the school to go and teach that day. And there was nothing really wrong with the dress. It was a normal dress that mostly wear. I mostly wore. And so as I was thinking, I was trying to think about it with the Holy Spirit, that what is going on here? Why am I being told that God is clothed in glory? And I knew that in an extension, it meant that I am the daughter of the king, who is supposed to represent God, is also supposed to be clothed in glory. So I started analyzing my dresses, my dressing, and how it is going. And I knew that because I am the daughter of the king, and I know it, and I've accepted it, and I'm aware of it. Everything that I do, say, wear, whatever it is, it goes it goes to say a lot about God. So I'm wearing my thing. I'll be thinking that I just want to wear something, but then maybe somebody out there will be like, "Oh, I really admire the sister, and she was the." You see the way the Bible says that we are the lights in this world. Yes. So, oh, maybe she was. I was looking up to her in regards to her dressing and the way she loves God, or something to that effect. So I knew that the dressing is not any much less about it. So I was like, okay, it's either this is about what I'm wearing now, or maybe something that is coming in the future, because that's how God works. It's either now or in the future. It's a very near future. And they have to warn you so that when the time comes, you will not go and mess up and say, "Oh, God didn't tell me." You cannot go and do anything just anyhow. So I got up from there, and after that, uh, Thursday, Friday, went to I traveled to Accra, and I had to go and take my dress. So when I got to the place, that's the shop, I saw that it was supposed to be a top. Sorry, I don't know how they call it. A slit blouse or no, but it's a skirt. It was supposed to be a skirt and a top. And the thing was there perfectly. The skirt was sorry, the top was perfect. I liked the style. In fact, I actually loved it. I loved it. And then they had to go and bring the skirts that I'll be using to wear the top that I'll be doing the combination with. And then when they brought the skirt, people of God, I actually understood why I had to be sat down to be told that God is clothing glory, He's clothing glory, He's clothing light. Because if you saw the length of the skirts, I'm not that short. I'm not very, very tall either. I don't even know my height. I would have told you guys. But I am not that short enough to be able to pull a short dress and nobody will notice. Like, do you get it? I am not that. I almost said I'm not that big. I'm not big. I'm not. I'm skinny. So most of the time, there are things that you can wear and get away with. But I'm also a little tall, not very short. I'm not on the very short side. So it's not everything that you can wear and get away with that people will not say, "Oh, that is very short." When I saw the skirt that I was supposed to be wearing to graduation ceremony, the graduation that I had meant as in a mini graduation, because those 4 years were 4 years indeed, a mini graduation. But when I saw the skirt, I was like, "Oh my God, what am I going to do?" And because this person was very good, it was not the very first time that the person was sewing for me. She's very, very good. Even till now, I still send things for her to sew for me. She's still very good. But the skirt was not giving daughter of the king. It was not giving daughter of the skirt was giving Jezebelina, Jezebelico, Jezebella. I don't know any around that time. I could not imagine myself being an image bearer of God in such an attire. I know that even in a day-to-day normal wearing of things, it's important to God. But in such a grand occasion, an important occasion, where I'll be representing God, I was not going to do anything. But everywhere that I go, I know and I'm aware that I am representing God. I am an image bearer of God and His holiness and everything that He is. So on days that I even forget, I am prompted. I am prompted. So I knew that I would not be able to wear that skirt. And I didn't want to make the person's own the thing look bad. So I just took it. Because even if I didn't take it, there was really nothing that they could do. It's not like some of the material was left that they could use to patch. Or I don't know, do a patch up or an alteration or something. So I just took it. And I got into a car because I had to get to the campus on the Friday so that the Saturday we would get up and go for the graduation. And this was around, was it around 4 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock p.m. So I'm like, let's say 12 minutes, sorry, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, like 8 hours to the graduation day. So I sat in the car, I thanked her, I took it, I told her I loved it. But I didn't talk about the skits because there was really nothing we could do about it at that time. I sat in the car, I didn't know whether to cry or whether to smile, whether to jump because of the way that the sermon came. I knew within me that I would not be able to wear the skirt. So I started talking to people. I spoke to my sister. I was ranting on my sister that the skirt that I was supposed to wear tomorrow for the graduation, it is not skirting. It is short. Everything I like everything else, but the skirt is not skirting. The skirt is very short. So what are we going to do? And then she was getting worried, so I stopped engaging her. And then I called a friend in Medina, and I was like, really, Fred, this is the issue. This is the issue with my skirt, and I don't know what to do because if I don't wear this is the only thing that I had prepared beforehand to wear, and that's the only way that I'm going to get to the graduation on time. So she was like, okay. She had somebody, the person who sews for her is just around the corner. So I should pray. She's going to call the person and tell the person that this is a situation. So we need a skirt that will match with the top. So I told her the color of the top, the texture of the material. And she was like, okay, she's going to engage the person. God being so good, when she went there, the lady was very sympathetic. She was like, oh, so sorry. So what are you going to do? The urgency of the matter was weighing her down, it was weighing me down, it was weighing everybody down. Then she was like, okay, so this is what we are going to do. All the while I was in the car going to Medina. This is what we are going to do. There is this shop. If you can get the material and get here on time before I close, I can sew it for you. No problem at all. No problem at all. So I was like, okay, let me do that. People of God, when I was on my way going to Medina, it started raining. As in, it started raining. And we all know what happens to shops when it starts raining. They are closing. And it's almost like it's around 4. It's going to 5, 6. They will close and go to their houses. So I was in the car. I was praying, God help me. God help your daughter. Help your daughter. But I was like, okay, so when I drop, I'll go and see if they are there. It was raining when I got down. It was almost like 5:36, and shops had started closing, especially where I will get the material. When I went there, most of them, almost all of them were closed. It was left with just one shop, and that one shop, the material that I wanted, it had only just one color available. And the color that was available, I was not going to be able to use it to match the color of the top. So if I bought that one, it will still be a disaster. They were like, oh, everywhere is closed, everybody has gone home. The place was filled with water and all that because it had rained. So I called the woman, and the woman was like, okay, so there's this last top that you can go to get the dress. If you can go the material, if you can get there on time, because they close at 6 o'clock, it's almost 6:30. If you can get there before 7 o'clock, then maybe you get the material, and it's like an 80% surety that you get the material. I was like, okay. I hopped in a car. The thing was not even getting full. I stayed there, I stayed in the car for a while before it started moving. And I didn't know where I was going to. So God being so good, he sent me an angel. A guy was seated beside me, and he was like, he saw that I was worried. I didn't even want to talk to him. He said that I was worried. So he was like, where am I going to? It was an obvious question because the guy was only going to one place. And I told him that I was going to this shop. But the issue is that I don't know where it is. So I don't know. I really don't know where to alight. And the direction that the woman was giving me, I was not getting it because I had not been around that area before. So I told him, I was like, oh, okay. I think he didn't tell me that he was alighting there, but I later found out that he was alighting there. So he told me that he would show me the place. So when we got there, it was around, I think, 6:45, 7, almost. Or it was already 7, somewhere around 6:45, 7, 7:50. And because it had rained, they had closed. And he was like, oh, I am so sorry. I can't even forget the look on his face. He was like, I am so sorry. I'm so sorry about it. I but watch yourself carefully because this place is quite dangerous or a little dangerous. So I was like, okay. So I stood there. I looked at my phone and my battery was 1%. The battery that I was going to use to communicate with the woman and my friend, and the only hope that I had of getting an actual skirt, it was 1%. So when I tried ordering a boat to get to the woman, but then on in the process of getting the boat there, the phone went off. The phone went off. I was stranded. To say I was stranded is like an understatement, is it? I was really stranded. I I stood there not knowing what to do. You see that situation when you actually can't go back, you can't go forward. You don't know what to do because you don't know what is happening on the other side. And that is actually the only hope that you had. I was near tears. Did I cry at that point? At that point, did I cry? No, I'm not sure I cried at that point. Maybe my eyes welled up, but the tears might not have fallen. I'm not sure it's fell, but maybe eyes, my eyes welled up. I'm like, am I going to miss the graduation? Sorry, I'm trying to remember how I went about the whole thing. So I had to take a boat, but my phone was off. There was nobody that I actually knew in the area that I could go to. So I was like, okay, let me take a trust key. And I knew that from the place that I was standing to my house and to my friend's house, it's actually like a walking distance of maybe a 10 minutes. And if I took the boat, it would have been short. It would have been like maybe like 5 minutes for 5 to 8 or 10 minutes. But then if I had to go back to where I was coming from, it was like going round circles or like going in circles, you get it. But that was the only place that was the only option. So I was like, okay, let me just go back, go back to Medina and take another car and send it back to Obujo. So I sat in the car. I like window seat in the car. I got it. Got the window seat. I was leaning I was leaning on the glass, and I was like, God, you are the one who you are the one who told me to dress up well, gloriously for your glory. Like this is what you told me. And I didn't start defending myself. And I said that I think you said that to me because you knew the gravity of what my dressing would do to your name, or do to somebody's faith or something, like whatever it is tied with tomorrow. I do not really know. And I'm thinking that you called me earlier. You pre-called me because maybe just maybe I might have thought of compromising. But if this is really actually you, please help me. Please help me. You said it. I know that you don't just say things like that. You said it, so you have to help me. Immediately I finished the prayer, I saw a shop opened. And I shouted, I will get down, I will get down, I will get down, I will get down. And the man was like, okay. So I got down. I ran, people of God, I ran to the shop. And with tears in my eyes, I was like, I'll buy this and this and this. The woman was like, oh, okay. You are so lucky. The size of the material that you want and the material that you want, it's only left with the exact and the color that you want is left with the exact shade, exact material, exact size, that the exact yard that you want, the exact yard. So that's good for you. I was so happy. She could see it on my face. She was like, "Why are you having a ceremony tomorrow?" I'm like, I'm in dire need of this material." And I told her it's my graduation tomorrow. And she was like, "Oh, congratulations!" And I was like, I started talking, trying to explain how I've gone through heaven and no, I didn't go through hell. I've gone through a lot trying to find that material. Then she was like, "Good for you." Then I was like, "Thank you." The way I was thanking her, you think that she was just giving me the material for free. So I took it. Now it was left with how I would get to the woman that was going to sew the skirt for me, because I didn't know. As at that point, it was like 8:30, getting to 9, and 8:30, getting to 9, and I didn't. She was supposed to close at 7 o'clock, so I didn't know whether she would be sitting there waiting for me. I was like, "God, you've done this one. Oliver Twist is here asking for more. Please do it to the end, because I know that you do not start what you do not want to end. Everything that you start, you take it to the end." So I hurried home. I charged my phone. Then I called my friend, and she was like, "Oh, the woman has been calling." But she said she was not getting me, and she also tried calling me, but she didn't get me. So she's still there by the grace of God, because she said she's waiting for me. She was waiting for me for a while. And when she started going or something like that, somebody brought a cloth for her to sew for her that the person will be needing the following day. So I rushed there to the shop. I gave her the material. She was like, "Wow, you are very like you. This thing, this was what," she was sympathizing and all that. And I sat down for her to sew the material, sew the skirt for me. I had to get to campus at that night. So I got to campus like 11:30, 12. I was not able to see my friends who had already gone ahead of me to their graduation, to the school. I got there around 11:30, and because it was graduation, people were like all all around, so I could see some of them. But the wahala that I went through for that graduation gift. So now when I think about it, I'm thinking, I shared this on my WhatsApp status, and I was asking people what they learned about it, what they think, what they thought about it, and then the response that I kept getting was that God actually knew. Maybe there was somebody in that gathering that would have said, maybe I would have said, "Oh, let me compromise and wear this short, skimpy dress like that." Maybe somebody's faith, which may have been tied to what I will wear or my outlook or how I do my things or behave, somebody's faith may have been shaken. "Oh, if AJ is wearing this, maybe it's not so bad at all." And we will say, "Oh, it's not, that's not how it's supposed to work." But deep down, that is how some of the things that we do affect people that, I don't know whether to say, look up to us, or people who see us and admire us, people who see our work with God and admire what God is doing in our lives. So I sit down and analyze all this that had to go on. I was like, just this for a dress, like just this for looking a particular way at a ceremony. If the way we really look is not that important to God, I'm not sure that there would have been a sermon. And if the way we look, we present ourselves out there as children of God, as daughters of the King, is not tied to somebody's faith, it's not tied to the glory of God, it's not tied to how God is perceived, I'm not sure all this trouble would have been necessary. It's just a dress. That's what we see, right? Like, "Oh, I'm serving God. It's in my heart." Oh, who cares? Oh, oh, I'm serving God. This is not a big deal. It's just a dress. Let me just wear it and go and come back. Oh, I'm serving God. Is this an issue? What I wear? What I wear doesn't matter. Serving God is in the heart. Well, yes, it is in the heart, all right. But if there has to be a someone in because of a dress for a graduation, I'm thinking that God really, really is interested in what we wear. Because just as Paul said, paraphrasing, that we ourselves may not really have an issue with. Our faith may not be stricken. Our faith may not be shaken. Our faith may not be moved by something that we do. But there are others too who are coming up in the faith and who will see things and their faith will be shaken. And their faith will be like, oh, okay, so this person is doing this. Is this okay? And the person will be doing it thinking maybe it is okay. It is good to find God for yourself. It is good to be in the relationship with the Holy Spirit for yourself, because you will now say that, auntie, you can't be wearing that, or no, like this is, everybody is doing this, it is not really bad, but for you and I, because of our work, because of our relationship, now you can't do that. So if there was supposed to be a sermon, and if there was supposed to that much of interest was placed on a dress, on a skirt, on an outlook, because I'm a princess, because I'm the daughter of the king, then there's nothing that anybody can tell me about just looking anyhow. There's nothing anybody can tell me about Christianity being in the heart. Maybe you are fine with what you are doing, there's no moving your heart. Maybe everything that you are placing on yourself is not really making you carnally minded. But to the person looking on, the person admiring you, the person is going to be moved in a carnal position. Then we are each other's keeper. We are each other's keeper. We can't say that, because we can't just be self-centered in serving Christ to the extent that because my faith is not moved by this, I am just going to do it. We have to be, how do I put it? We have to be thinking about the brethren whose faith is also moved. This is where the world has gotten into. As far as it is not hurting me, it is fine. It's not hurting me. It is fine. But this is where the world has gotten into. As far as it is not hurting you, it is shifting somebody's focus. It is worrying somebody. It is not fine. It is not in the Bible, but it is shifting somebody's focus. Children of God, princesses of the King, the daughters of the King, the people of God, we cannot just do things out of just free will. People's faith, the way people view God, all those things are tied to how we present ourselves and how we do things. So in all things, so whatsoever you do, whether you eat or you drink or you wear or you laugh or you sing or you watch or you speak or you braid, whatever things that we do, we should do it all to the glory of the Lord. And we know that God is so concerned about the Christian in the baby phase, the Christian in the toddler phase, the Christian in the child phase, the Christian in the tween phase, the Christian in the teenage, every phase till the grandpapa phase. God is so interested in all of us. So I thought to share my story, and I hope somebody has been inspired by it. Let me know what you think. What is also your thoughts on the whole dress issue, the whole sermon issue because of a graduation dress issue? Thank you guys for staying with me. I am ending this on a very sober note. So I'll see you next time. I am Meiji Amponsa. Bye.
If you enjoy this session, this conversation of how to live a very Christian way, then do well to subscribe to this channel. Follow us on all our socials. The links will be in the comment section. Hey, we want to hear from you. What do you want to hear about in our next episode? Do you have questions? Ask them. If you have opinions, share them. We are in this together, right? Hey, see you same time next week. And I love you with the loving of the Lord. Bye.